Joe,
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
We have the most crazy, amazing story to share with people. Can you tell us quickly about yourself?
My name's Joanna, 39 years old. Currently married to Aaron, my husband. We've been married for 10 years, together for 18.
Wow.
I'm a mother of an almost 2-year-old and a new dog mom as well.
Oh, that's lovely. And we have just the most beautiful miracle story about your daughter.
I'd like to think so.
Yes, it is. Can we go back to sort of where things started? You said you got married 18 years ago.
10 years ago.
Oh, sorry,
We've
10
been
years
together
ago.
for 18 years.
Right.
Hard to believe it's been that long, but yes.
Yes. And you guys got married, and I guess you kind of assumed you could have kids, or
Yes.
you want to start from the beginning?
So Aaron and I met at work back in 2008, and it was just one of those things where we don't know where it's going to go. I pursued him. He's very happy to tell people that. We kind of had just an understanding that it was our career first. Establish ourselves career-wise, and then go from there. Get the house, the kids, and just see where it goes. So we did the career. We were doing really well. We bought land and decided to build a house. And before even that, we got married in 2015, right?
Yeah.
And 2018, we moved after our house was built, and we said, okay, let's start planning for kids.
Mm-hmm.
We planned, and it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
We reached out to fertility doctors, who at the time was very, very candid in saying, we will not work with you unless you lose weight, get your diabetes under control, take all these drugs, take these prenatal vitamins, and we'll see. Try us again in a year. So, at that point, it was a little discouraging to hear that obviously my body is not, a fully functioning machine to carry children. So
That's a lot of people. It seems like, there's a lot of people probably that feel that way, my body's not a full functioning machine. And even if you think it is, sometimes there's other plans, right?
Exactly.
So you felt discouraged, and then what happened? How many years did you battle?
I want to say 5 to 6 years that, we've tried to get healthier, work out. And in 2023, I started feeling great. I lost a bunch of weight. I was working out every day. And I noticed, I was like, okay, my period hasn't regulated. It hasn't been for a while. Maybe I should go seek out a new doctor. So to preface that, Aaron and I's family doctor passed away in June of 2023.
Yeah.
So, I was like, that's fine. I have no huge things that I needed to bring up or, go see specialists. So that's fine. And in November, I decided to seek out a doctor.
Okay.
Because
a new doctor
that was accepting new patients. So I just came in as a walk-in, and I just said, hey, I feel fine, but is this something to be worried about? I wasn't sure if it was hormones, or if there was an underlying issue that needed to get checked out. He was very candid with me and said, listen, I am not great with women's health.
Really?
I do have a colleague here who is also accepting new patients if you would like to see her. And I said, absolutely. And I asked the receptionist at the time, would she also accept my husband as a patient? Because, why not kill two birds with one stone?
Yeah.
And it was that same week, 3 days later, we both came in at the same time.
Okay.
Told her, hey, this is what's going on with me. Can we just get a general checkup? And she said, absolutely. Here's requisition to get lab tests done.
Okay.
So get that done. I said, sure. I did it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
As someone who is diabetic, I am very fully aware of how to check my lab results.
Okay.
Right? So it's easy to do it online and just check it. So come Sunday morning, I checked just to see if it had posted, and it did. My A1Cs were great, right? It was nice and low. And then I see my HCG levels, and it was over 5,000 or whatever it was.
Wow. Do you know what that's supposed to be?
Yes. -1 means you're not pregnant. So I'm researching online, like, what are these levels and how far along are you at this? And they're like, you can be anywhere from 6 to 7 months, 4 to 5 months.
So when you saw this, you have been through like so much hardship, right? Let's even go back.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever have times when you thought you were pregnant?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about that a little bit? Like what in the past you had scares or I mean, not even scares, excitement?
Yes, because of someone, again, whose period has always been irregular. I can go months without one, or I can go months with a period. Mm-hmm. If I miss one, I'll take a test. You know, there's been times where Aaron has been out of town for business. Yeah. I take a test and I'm just like, honey, is that a faint plus pink line? I don't know. There's like
always this hope.
Yes, and it's just like, no, you know, it's not. Okay. It's negative for the next test and whatnot. So.
And can we also just quickly, when you were going through all of that, you were like had these ups and downs and stuff. What did you have for support at that time? Did you and Aaron just dealt with that by yourself? I can imagine because we know so many people that are struggling with that. Can you give any advice on, what kind of supports maybe they should have when they're going through that?
To be honest,
or talk to people.
It's kind of hard. Like with Aaron, he's not very close with his family. For me, coming from an Asian background, Filipino, we don't really talk about those feelings, right?
So you kind of harbored.
Yes, and it was just mostly Aaron and I. So it was a lot of support for each other. As a couple.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll be very candid as well. We go through therapy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
We need that. I am a huge advocate for that.
Because
therapy. You may think you know each other.
Yeah. And just having a professional there is really nice.
Just as a mediator. Right?
And would you say that was ever really hard on your relationship? Or did it actually more so bring you together when you were going through all of these ups and downs with years of trying to have a baby?
Yeah. I think it definitely did put a strain on our relationship, just more so because as a woman, how are you not able to provide that to the man who's looking forward to continuing his name?
Yeah. Right? And did you blame yourself sometimes?
Hugely.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of women do.
Right? Because
what's wrong with me?
That's right. And for the men, it's so easy. His one test, done and done. He's good. He can have children. But for me, it could be a myriad of things. So it was just, if it's not this thing, okay, let's try this. And if it's not that, okay, what about this? So even before finding out that HCG levels, I would say a month and a half before that, we had actually spoken to a second fertility specialist.
Okay.
Just as a quick meet and greet, just online, FaceTime. Yeah. And the first thing he said to me, he's like, oh, okay, you're over 35 years old. First thing we need to do is we need to grab your eggs and freeze them. You're a geriatric pregnancy. We need to freeze your eggs right now because we can take it out anytime, but you're losing eggs. At this age, you have less than half of what you had when you started.
So how did that make you feel? Then more pressure.
Yep.
You're even more afraid because you need more pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, it starts at 10 grand just to do the egg extraction and this and this and that. Here's a portal, get signed up.
Really?
That just turned me off right away. I already knew being over 35 that yes.
Yeah, you know that, yeah.
And by the way, they don't call it a geriatric pregnancy anymore according to the doctors, and it's an advanced pregnancy now.
Okay.
But to hear that, like...
There are so many women, though, that are, over 35 having babies.
Exactly. Well into their 40s.
Yeah, well into their 40s. But you guys really, I think people can definitely relate to that huge struggle you went through and then blaming yourself and who do you talk to and is it me and the stresses in the relationships and I'm running out of time, all of these women I'm running. And did you guys talk about adoption at one point?
In passing.
Yeah.
Aaron grew up with foster sisters.
Yeah.
So, he's very well aware of the system and whatnot. And it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And you were thinking about IVF or?
Briefly.
Briefly,
You know,
okay.
it wasn't even about cost. It was just, you know, everything that came with it emotionally.
Okay.
So after hearing that, you know, I think Aaron and I had kind of come to a conclusion collectively to just say, hey, because we said 40 was a hard stop. If we didn't have
Really?
kids by 40, we accept it.
Oh.
So that fall going into winter, we said, you know what? Maybe
So
it's not for us.
you kind of gave up.
We kind of just accepted
Isn't that an
was
interesting?
God's route for us.
Yeah. Isn't that an interesting time when we accept things sometimes, or we just like? I think sometimes things happen when we stop trying or something. I think there's something to that.
I think there's a bit of a calm and maybe a stress lifted when you kind of just like, this is God's plan. It's okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we had talked about taking trips in the new year. We talked, oh, you know what? We've never been to Disneyland. Maybe we go for New Year's. Let's go to Seattle. Let's go to Vegas. We both haven't been to Vegas yet. So we had all these plans that we wanted to do for 2024.
All of a sudden, you accept this. Okay, maybe we should just be looking forward to other things that we can do, because maybe a baby is not just, it's probably not going to happen after everything that you guys went through. And then you saw your numbers.
Yes.
And they were crazy.
Yes.
First of all, how did you feel when you saw those numbers?
So Aaron was, this is something that's ingrained in Aaron and I's heads.
Yeah.
That day, Sunday, December 10th, Aaron was taking a nap right beside me in the living room.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone. First thing I did, ran upstairs. As someone who's always had pregnancy tests lying around. And I was like, yup, gotta pee, let's do this.
So you saw the numbers and you immediately thought you had hope again.
Yeah. There's no way, because it said on there, normal, less than 1. Anything above that, the chance of you being pregnant is there.
Okay.
So went upstairs, peed on that stick, and before it was maybe even 10 seconds, it was flashing.
Bold.
It was flashing, and I was like, all right, it was one of those digital tests. I was like, oh gosh, and right away, 3+ weeks pregnant. Because those tests don't detect anything more than 3+ weeks pregnant.
Okay. So this timeline is where it gets interesting.
Oh gosh, yes.
This is the craziest part of the story. This actually is like the miracle.
Yes.
Because you're not expecting to have a baby. All of a sudden you have numbers and things progressed. So what happened after that? Give us the details.
All right. Ran downstairs, didn't wake Aaron up. I was like, I am not going to wake this man up. I'm going to wait until he lulls himself awake. There's no need to panic. So sitting there, and I'm just like, all right, waiting.
Okay.
Knowing Aaron, he doesn't nap for a long time. And literally, as soon as he woke up, he opens his eyes and he's like, hi. And I said, hi. And I start crying, and he's like, what's wrong? And I show him the test, and he's like, what? I'm like, I'm pregnant. And he falls off the couch. And he's crying, and I'm crying. And I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, what are you sorry for? I'm like, I didn't know.
Yeah, nothing to be sorry for.
You know, and he's hugging me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know how far along.
Okay.
At that time, I'm like, a month, maybe 2 months. I said, honey, I don't know. I said, I have another test. It's not digital. If I need to go pee again, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, just to be sure. And he's like, all right. And he didn't know what to say. And
what a shock for you guys.
Oh gosh, yeah. And
after you gave up.
Yeah. And at that point, of course, you know, like, we don't know much. No one has been told anything. It's just between the two of us. Pardon me. And go to the bathroom again, take the next test. Yeah, that one was like instant. I was like, holy moly. Okay, cool. Since we had just seen my doctor, I was like, okay, we'll follow up with her on that.
Good thing you got
it's
a new
Sunday.
doctor.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank God. And I think, you know, we look back at it and I'm like, that's God's plan right there. It's like, you need a new doctor? Guess what? You're pregnant. So yes, you need that new doctor.
And it's a woman.
Oh my goodness.
That's
so,
the best. Yeah.
You know, Aaron and I just went about our day. The next day we took a Costco trip. And while we were driving, our doctor called and she was said, Joanna. And I'm like, yup. He's like, so, and I'm like, I'm pregnant. And she's like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, yes. She's like, I hope that's okay. I'm like, are you kidding?
So, before we go anywhere else, how had you been feeling leading up to that? Had you noticed anything at all? Is there any story there?
When Aaron and I look back at it, because I've never had any morning sickness, never had any aversions to food, smells. There was one time, we would say in spring, Aaron had actually twisted his ankle and was in quite a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And that same day, I had come home from a trip into the office and I had run a fever. So for 2 days, I was in bed.
And you just felt it. You just thought it was a virus.
Yeah. I thought seasons are changing. That's all it is. Didn't think anything of it.
Seasons are changing.
Aaron thinks that's when I had
Something
pregnant.
was going on.
Yes, it was my body's way of saying like, oh, okay.
Okay.
That baby is implanted and it's coming. Aside from that, that was it.
Okay. So you didn't have any symptoms really other than like a few little things.
No.
And so now you have these crazy numbers. Now you know you're pregnant. And what happened next?
So my doctor said, okay, Joanna, we need to get you in for an ultrasound. I said, yes, absolutely. Let's do that. She said, I will book you in as soon as possible. And she said, Wednesday. I said, great.
Okay.
Great. Doesn't matter where in Calgary.
I'll go.
We'll go. Aaron always takes December off at work, so we had all that free time. So come Wednesday again, Aaron and I are just in the car, just like, oh my God, like, is this real? Are we really going for an ultrasound? Like, what can we see? Is it far along enough that we can see anything? You know, so it's just like a lot of what ifs and, you know, a lot of questions. So we walk in there, the ultrasound tech says, okay, so first semester ultrasound. I said, yes, I think. I don't know.
I know nothing. Yeah.
You know, so she puts the device on my stomach, start hearing a heartbeat.
Oh,
Great sound. Great sound.
best thing ever.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and as she's poking and prodding, she's like, okay. And we're like, yeah, everything okay? She's like, okay, well, can't tell the sex. She says she's breached and transverse. So her head's up and she's facing your spine.
Okay.
Again, didn't know what the sex was. Just, that's how it is. So she's looking, okay, here's the lips, here's the nose. I'm like, okay. She's like, here's the ribs. And Aaron and I start looking at each other. We're like, wait a second. Wait, these are formed? She's just like, how far along do you think you are? And I'm like, I don't know. She says, we think you might be 26 to 30 weeks along. Like, I was just
Oh my
speechless.
goodness.
And Aaron just looks at me and I look at him and I'm like, no way. No way.
Yeah.
You know, she continues her thing, takes some pictures. She says, okay, get dressed. I'll be back. I just need to check on some things. We're like, okay. You know, again, just complete and utter disbelief.
Yeah. No kidding.
Like, what do I say? And I just look at her like, really? We're this far along? You know, thoughts start running through your head. Like, are we prepared? Like, what do we need to do? What do we need to prepare for this
Total
child?
shock.
We just found out 3 days ago that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And she comes back and she says, yeah, we think you might be further along, anywhere between, I'm trying to remember, like 32 to even 36 weeks along.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. And she says, so I printed out this picture of you for you, and it was her face,
Wow.
her eyes and her nose and her lips. To this day still looks the same from that ultrasound picture.
Yes.
And she says, we need to book you in right away for your last trimester ultrasound. And I said, yes, we do.
Wow.
So go back to the desk and they said, so yeah, we need to book you in right away. I was like, whatever appointment you have, let's get booked in.
Okay.
And I think they were all in disbelief. I think
Yeah.
all the ultrasound
Yeah.
techs had spoken and it was just like, yeah, this lady was in for her first trimester and she's actually like going to be giving birth in a month.
Uh-huh.
So they said, we think you might be due January 20th is your due date.
Wow.
So that was December 13th was when we had that ultrasound.
So we can't have a baby. All of a sudden, we're having a baby.
Yes.
The baby could almost be coming.
Yep, in a month.
Maybe in a month. Okay.
Yes. So I was like, great, cool. Reach out to my best friend, my girlfriend, just say, hey, yeah, by the way, that same day, that evening was when I had called my best friend and my sister.
Yeah.
And was just like, yeah, you guys are not going to believe this, and just crying. And
What
were
did they say?
They was like, no, you're not. So just to let you know, my dad had moved December 1st. I helped him move. I was driving the truck. I was by myself. Also, my sister and her fiance at the time was helping move stuff. I was carrying boxes into the truck bed, hauling things by myself, unloading, loading. I had also
Not even a belly.
nothing. I also had set up all the Christmas decorations, pulled out all the bins from the garage, loading the truck, driving around, unloading. I had done all that. Again, felt just fine.
And you didn't feel any movement in your anything that now that when you look back, you're like, okay, there was something.
Oh yes. Now that we look back at it, I remember telling Aaron, I was like, I feel like these little flutterings. And I thought it was indigestion.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
again, I lost a bunch of weight. I was, working out so much that I thought, okay, I'm eating great. I'm eating healthy. My body's adjusting.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, the fluttering was her.
Totally.
Right?
Yep.
To say like, hey mom, like I'm here.
Oh.
And it wasn't until we found out at that ultrasound that I actually saw my stomach move. And I felt it. I was like, now?
Because it makes sense.
Yes.
Like it just, yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that maybe there was like was there ever some really subconscious anything there that you almost were in denial that maybe?
Yes. Big time. Because you've tried and you've tried.
And you can't imagine getting your hopes up.
Yes. And, a part of you just kind of pushes those thoughts ahead and be like, why set yourself up for disappointment?
Yeah, you're protecting yourself.
Yeah. Like, no, it's not going to happen.
It's indigestion.
It is 100%. I'm eating so
I'm
healthy
growing
now.
abs. Isn't that what you said?
Oh my gosh. Yes. That one little ab that I thought from doing HIIT workouts and like Pilates was her head. Made sense because she was breached. Her head was up here. 100%.
Crazy.
Yes.
So, with all that being said, you are telling your friends,
Yes.
oh my goodness, we just found out, you're not going to believe this. And this is all just happens in a few days.
Yep.
Now, you might be like 36 weeks or 30 some weeks along. You don't know.
Don't know.
What happened after that?
So my doctor said, okay, you're far enough along that we actually just need to get you an obstetrician.
Okay.
So she said next week we'll set you up for an appointment to meet with an obstetrician. She herself is one, but just because, she hadn't seen me from the beginning, she needs one, like almost like an emergency.
Yeah.
Because I've got a month left. So I said, okay, yeah, that's fine. She said, December 18th, this is your appointment. I said, great, let's do that. I also had an appointment with her as well on December 18th just to follow up. Just to make sure, I was set up for my last ultrasound as well. So since that was in the afternoon, I told Aaron and I had actually made plans to go out for a nice dinner before having a kid. So we decided, okay, let's go to Caesar's Steakhouse, 5 days before Christmas. So I decided to go shopping and, just find myself a nice outfit for dinner. So that morning I went shopping. Felt great, again, still in disbelief, just collecting my thoughts.
Your dresses fit perfect.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, like this is great. And I have a baby, like, oh my goodness, So it's just like, all right, this is great. Again, didn't feel anything. It was just, I felt like I was on top of the world, right? And I come home, All right, told Aaron. All right, let's go to our doctor's appointment. He wanted to come with me, so I was like, all right, let's go. And get in. She's like, all right, let's just do a quick little ultrasound on you. It's just a little machine just to hear the heartbeat, and then takes my blood pressure. And then she said, all right, so not gonna, you know, she's like, I don't want to worry you or anything. She's like, your blood pressure's a little high.
Right.
I think it might be best, just considering how far along we think you might be. Maybe you should go to just the community center emergency, just to get checked out. I said, okay, yeah, we can do that. She's like, actually, you know what? Let me call Foothills ahead of time, and I'll just let them know that
You're coming.
I was like, oh, okay.
Okay,
Sounds
guess we're
good.
going to the hospital.
Yeah, whatever you say. If you're saying my blood pressure's a little high, I do not want to stress this baby out. Absolutely. So she's like, you can go right away. I was like, yep. Aaron and I get back in the truck, and I said, honey, can we just go home first? Let the dog out. I'm going to grab some snacks, some water, because who knows how long the hospital is. This hospital it's one of the busiest.
We could be there for 8 hours.
Exactly. So he's like, all right, we take our time, drive down to the hospital. And I said, yes, my doctor said you guys are expecting us. And they said, oh, yes, we are. Come in right away. Here's a bed. Okay. I get hooked up to all these machines. The one nurse who was trying to take my blood pressure, she was taking a little while. She said, I'll be right back. Just lay here. I'll be right back. I said, okay.
Did you start getting scared?
No, because she was just like...
nonchalant.
Yeah, very nonchalant. I didn't know if she couldn't get a reading.
That's good. She's not supposed to scare you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Not even 5 minutes later, we had 2 obstetricians and a bunch of other nurses opened up the curtain and said, Joanna, we need to check everything out right now. Your blood pressure is extremely high. Like, we're talking 200 over 180. Like,
wow.
I should have been having a stroke at that point.
Oh my goodness.
And they said, we don't know how high or how long.
So now you're scared.
Yes. She said, and straight up, one of the doctors said, you're having this baby tonight. I think this was 3 or 4, 5 in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. You're having this baby tonight.
And you and Aaron looked at each other, and what was that?
What? Like,
you have nothing at home.
Nothing.
You are not ready for this baby.
I started an Amazon wish list, a baby registry of things that, maybe we'll need this, maybe we don't. Oh, just have it on there.
Yeah.
If
no rush.
We have a month. Things come on Prime. Prime days are just like 1 to 2 days. We'll get it. No big deal. And they said, no, you're having this baby tonight. And so Aaron, oh man, the look on that man's face.
I can only imagine.
He was in disbelief. And of course, being me, trying to be calm.
Does everyone just start crying?
Yeah. Aaron did.
Yeah.
One of the doctors said, okay, let's check her out. Again, didn't know the sex yet, but we kept referring to Ava as her. And I said, can you tell the sex? And she says, I cannot see anything at all.
Really? And it's still breached.
She's breached. She's facing your spine. You need an emergency C-section.
Wow.
Okay.
So you go from let's grab some snacks. We might be there waiting for a bit. And now we're having a baby. And
all in a span of about 45 minutes to an hour.
And we're having an emergency C-section.
Yes.
Did that scare you?
Yes, very much so. They said, okay, we'll start the prep right away. Just lay here. We're going to try and get a better reading of your blood pressure right now. It's so high, a regular cuff is not reading anything properly. So,
way to bring your blood pressure even higher.
Exactly.
Because,
trying to do some breathing. I don't know what breathing exercises are. I've never taken any classes, Lamaze, anything like that. So, I'm just internally trying to, calm myself down.
Yeah.
Aaron's crying over here, holding my hand, and I'm like, it's going to be okay.
Oh.
While at the same time, we heard a lady screaming out in the hallway. yelling, like, oh my gosh, I think she must be in labor.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, honey, it's okay. Just focus on me. It'll be fine. So finally, the doctors and the nurses come. They're like, okay, we're going to put you in a private room, considering your circumstance. You're going to be on your own in that room. Okay, great. So they wheel me into this room. I don't remember what the specialist did or what they do, but he just said to me, because we can't get a good reading of your blood pressure through the cuff, we need to actually put a stent in your vein
Wow.
to be able to read it properly.
Yeah.
So it's a plastic stent, and he said, I will need to hold you down, as well as another nurse will need to hold down your arm. This will hurt.
Really?
And he's like, but it's the only way we can get a proper reading. I said, okay, whatever you need to do.
How did that feel? You made it through.
He's just like, you didn't even flinch. You have tattoos, you're fine.
You're like, I have bigger problems right now.
Exactly. I said, whatever needs to be done. And yeah, he had to hold my arm because my blood pressure was so high. He had to hold it. Otherwise, blood would have just started going everywhere. So I'm glad that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Got that in. Everything moved so fast. It was an absolute blur. And I know people describe how things move so fast, but at the same time, everything slowed down to almost a clarity where you can just remember all the small little details.
This is honestly like a very traumatic event.
Yes, it was. And it was just like, I'm trying to keep it together. Aaron is trying to make arrangements with our friends and neighbors who live in the area. Like, hey, can so-and-so grab a key from so-and-so? Because our dog is at home. We weren't expecting to be out this long. Can someone take him for a walk, give him food? We also had 2 cats at the time. If someone could feed them. And it was just like, all right, that's done. Back to focusing on me. And once they had that stint in, the doctors were like, all right, we're going to take you to the OR. We need to get an epidural in and get started. And I said, okay, sounds good.
Wow.
Sounds good. So they wheeled me into the operating room. Aaron had to be held back for a little bit. I had a nurse ask me to sit up, hug a pillow while she hugged me. And she said, you have to be very still.
Yeah.
I said, okay, don't worry. While the anesthesiologist was doing his thing. And she said, I have to ask, how are you so calm? I said, why is there any reason to freak out at this point? It's not good for me.
There is nothing we can do, and my blood pressure is already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said, it's not good for me. It's not good for the baby. She said, I just saw your husband outside, and the nurses had to offer him a chair because he looks like he's going to pass out.
Oh.
And I said,
Yep, that's the right one. That's my husband.
I said, yes, makes sense. Absolutely. I said, if he's freaking out, there's no point in me freaking out too.
No.
Then we'll just be one big ball of stress. She said, okay. So they're doing their thing, told me to lay down. They said, okay, Joe, you're going to start feeling a little numb. I'm like, okay, cool.
Wow.
I'm like, is it normal? I can still move my toes. They're like, yes, that's normal. Just wait. Just give it time. We'll prep you. All right. And then finally they brought Aaron in. He was at my head. And they've got the screen up and everything, so we can't see anything. And they're just prepping and whatnot. They're like, can you feel anything? I was like, no, I am now completely numb.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. Great. So they start doing their thing. They said, okay, you're going to feel a little bit of pressure, a little bit of tugging. I didn't tell Aaron this at the time, but the lights up on the ceiling had a reflection of what was happening down there.
Oh.
So I'm watching and I'm looking at Aaron and I'm just like holding his hands like, just look at me. Aaron does not do well with gory things. I was like, just look at me.
Yeah.
And I'm watching and I'm watching.
So you're just trying to protect him too.
Exactly. I'm very fascinated with that kind of stuff.
Typical
I'm a cop.
wife. Yeah.
We're women. Blood doesn't scare us. So I'm just watching. Oh gosh. Oh wow, they popped that. Okay, cool. And then they said, all right. And then you hear crying. And that was that moment. I was like, oh my God. First breath. Even not being a mother before, I
Wow.
know crying is a good sign.
Yes.
And I just look at each other, and the doctor said, "Dad, do you want to see what you have?" And is forever ingrained in my head, and I laugh about it now. And Aaron stands up. He's like, "Can I look?" And I said, "Yeah, you can look." And they're holding her, and he's standing there. He's like, I said, "Honey, what is it? What do we have?" He's like, "I am so sorry. I cannot tell."
He probably sees like the umbilical cord, and
everything's
everything's
swollen.
yeah.
So he was like, "I'm so sorry." Like, I didn't understand why until I saw pictures that were taken afterwards. Everything's so swollen. It looks so weird.
Yeah.
And they said, "You have a girl."
Yes.
And that was just like, oh my gosh. And it just hit me. And Aaron's like, "Oh my God." I was like, "We have a girl." And literally leading up to before she was born, we said, "Oh, whatever we have." Of course, all parents say that. It doesn't matter what we have, as long as they're healthy.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I've always said I wanted a boy.
Yeah.
Part of me's like, I want a boy, I want a boy. Aaron said, I want a girl. And when they said girl, part of me was just like, yeah, deep down, I really wanted a girl. I would have been happy with either one, but oh my gosh.
It's perfect. It's perfect. She's perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. And, they whisked her away and weighed her, made sure everything was fine. They told Aaron, okay, we need someone to be with her at all times because he is the representative of her if anything goes south. Because of the fact that she was an emergency C-section, considering they didn't know how far along I was with her, she had to go into the NICU.
Yeah.
Just to, check all her vitals and whatnot. So Aaron was super worried for leaving me. I said, listen, there's nothing you can do for me here. No. I've done what I can. I've got doctors here. Go.
Yeah.
Go with her. And, he took pictures and he's like, okay, I'm going to go. I was like, yeah, just go. Don't, it's fine. I'm done. They're going to stitch me up. It's all good.
What a day.
And yeah, he was gone for a little bit. Pardon me. Everything had moved so fast. I think it was within a span of me coming in, getting my epidural, her being born. I think that was all within 15 minutes. It was so quick. It was unbelievable at how fast that they can move when there's an emergency.
Thank goodness for them.
100%. 100%. And
what a beautiful thing. Yeah. Really. Yeah.
So at the end of that, they said, okay, Joanna, you're ready to go back to the room. I said, great. They were honest and they said, listen, due to the fact that your blood pressure is so high, and I don't understand it, and I don't think it was ever explained to me. They said, we cannot let you see Ava right now. And I said, okay, I'm sure there's reasons.
Okay.
She's not alone. She's got a bunch of nurses there. Aaron's with her right now. They said, until your blood pressure is lowered and manageable, we cannot let you see her.
Really?
I was like, oh, okay. That, you know what, that's fine. I didn't
trust their judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said, is it me that could be stressing her out? Is it her that could be elevating my blood pressure? I don't know. Yeah. So I just accepted that. So I'm just back in my room, laying down, and Aaron comes and he's like, she's perfect. She's in a little bassinet with other NICU babies. And I said, okay, great. And he was just like, so, like, what do we do from now? I was like, go home. There's nothing you can do for me right now. I was like, there's no point in you just staying here with me because I'm sure I'm just going to need to rest.
Yes.
Ava's going to be sleeping. She's fine. At that time,
everyone needs rest right now.
You know, at that time as well, we hadn't named her. She had no name for 2 days.
Yeah. So, I think that's totally fair. You didn't know you're having a baby.
Yeah, we had a list of boy and girl names that we actually had created even before she was born or just shortly after that. You know, we call it like our list, and we would veto some of the names we didn't like. So that was started, and her name wasn't even on that list.
Really?
Which is hilarious.
Really?
So she was registered by the hospital to Alberta Health, and her card came as baby girl and our last name. So I was like, oh, well, we're changing that as soon as we got home because we had chosen a name before we left the hospital. But yeah, going back, I said, Aaron, just go home. There's nothing you can do for me.
I'll be sitting here working on my Amazon.
Yeah, I'm like sitting here, I was like, who do I reach out to? No one knows that we went to the hospital and had a baby. Like, I was.
Did any of your family wouldn't even have known in all of that, would they? Like, no.
No.
You didn't have a chance.
No. Again, aside from my sister and my best friend knowing, 4 days before she was born, thinking she was coming in a month, that was it. No one had known that evening. One of our friends who we reached out to say, hey, can you give the keys to our neighbor to let the dog out, was like, wait, what's going on? Why is Joe in the hospital? Because we were planning on telling them, because it's a week before Christmas, right? We had planned on telling them, like, hey, by the way, in a month we might be parents as a surprise, but we didn't even get a chance to say
Didn't even get there.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys didn't know. We had the neighbor's party on that Saturday.
Absolutely.
2 days before she came. And everyone said there was no way you were pregnant.
No. So he goes home. He comes back the next morning.
I was in the hospital, I would say a total of 4 days.
Okay. When did your blood pressure come down? Do you remember how long that took?
I think it was a day and a half later.
Did you have to wait that long to see?
Yes.
Wow.
So Aaron
that would have been hard.
That was hard. Aaron was coming every day to visit her. He'd come see me first, and then I said, yeah, go see her. Go spend some time with her. So he had lots of daddy bonding time with her. And then NICU, small little baby and just, her small little feeties.
How many pounds was she?
She was 5 pounds, 1 ounce.
Okay.
She used to fit on Aaron's chest. She was tiny. And by the time we left the hospital, she was under 5 pounds.
Which makes sense. You didn't even know she was in there.
She was, yeah. It was to the point where they almost didn't even let us leave the hospital because she was too small for her carrier. So we had...
Oh, it's like unsafe to put her in there.
Yeah, so the nurses had to finagle padding in the carrier to make sure she was protected. She was just this tiny thing in a giant carrier. In order to let us go home, we were just like, we just want to take her home,
No.
Because they were worried that she wasn't eating and whatnot. So they actually had put a feeding tube in her nose.
Okay.
And literally, I want to say within hours of putting that in, she was fine. Like we had always said she was put in the NICU with all of the very, very intensive care babies.
Yeah.
They had actually tucked her in a little corner in the back. She had a little hat on and 2 little pacifiers, just passed out. She had no breathing apparatuses, no heating covers or anything.
She just came out healthy.
She was fine.
And what was it like the first time you got to see her? What happened? Did they say, Joe, we have good news. Your blood pressure is down. You get to see your daughter.
That was hard because right after I gave birth to her, I had my own nurse, and they would take 7-hour shifts each. Every hour they were checking my blood pressure. Every hour they were checking my A1Cs.
Yeah.
They were giving me pills to bring down my blood pressure. So
Gotta keep mom alive.
Yeah, I was hardly getting any sleep. I was sleeping in between. The nurses were amazing. One was like, we'll give you a little sponge bath. I was like, oh my God, yes, please. I've got makeup on and all this. Yeah, like anything, yes, please. Yeah. And they just said, okay, honey, we need to also get you to start walking. Just, get your legs moving. Hopefully this will help, walk around in the hospital. And I said, okay, sounds great.
Can you accidentally take me by my daughter?
Yeah, well, where's the NICU?
Oh, that would have just been the hardest thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Knowing that she's in there and you're waiting.
Yeah, so, here I am trudging along. I'm like, oh yeah, like, no problem.
You're like, I promise my blood pressure will go down once I get to see my daughter.
Exactly. I'm just like, come on, like, you can do this. I'm like, what can I do to try and get this down? And it was just like, it was just constantly high. So it was just like, all right. And at this point, I said, there's nothing I can control. When they say I can go see her, I'll go see her. Mm-hmm. So, a couple more days of seeing Erin, they put me into a different room that I was sharing with another patient as well. And finally, they said, okay, you can go see her. So I got wheeled into a wheelchair. And she was in the smallest little bassinet. She had all these wires, monitors that were on her foot. So I was just like, oh my God, I'm so scared to accidentally pull one out. Like, is she okay? And they're like, don't worry. It's just wrapped around her ankle just to make sure, you know, her blood, we can see her heartbeat and all this. And you're almost like, she's so fragile. And I was just like, how do I hold her? You know, I've had a lot of experience holding babies. So it's not that, how do I hold her? It's just like, she's so small.
Yeah. You're afraid to break her.
Exactly. You know, and just instinctually, naturally took a picture of that. I just pulled my robe down a little bit to get a little bit of a skin-to-skin contact with her. And
that was it. There's the best moment of your life. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no words to describe that.
No.
To wait years for something to come to fruition. And all of a sudden, you're handed this beautiful baby girl and be like, she's yours. You know, it was hard to quantify in words how that feels.
An absolute miracle.
Yes. And I'll also be very honest at that time as well. A part of me didn't know how to feel. And I don't know if it's guilt or what, but I think it's because not knowing that she was coming, I didn't have that time to process.
Or even get excited or even, it's just,
Exactly.
you didn't have the normal time frame to accept or to go through the stage of like,
of bonding with that baby that was growing inside me. So part of me was kind of
and your hormones are crazy.
Yes. Oh
like
my goodness.
What just happened there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, and another thing that comes with that too was before I even got to see her, they said, we need to try and get you to pump. So whatever you can produce, we can give to her. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just could not produce anything. And a part of me is just like, is it because my body was not, or was it just me not prepared knowing that she was coming? It was just not producing anything. So
I think probably there was just shock. Your body was probably in shock. You were in shock, you know?
Yeah. And so there was a moment there when we were in the hospital together. It's just, they gave us a private room as well, because at the time they said, Ava doesn't need to be here anymore. She can go home. However, we need to have you guys sign off. And so we'll give you a private room. It's usually reserved for mothers who come here to get some time with their babies to get a little bit of training before they go home.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do that? Because they actually wanted to transfer her to another hospital.
Okay.
Further in the city. And we said, no, is there any way we can stay together?
Yeah.
And they said, okay, we'll give you a private room. And then tomorrow, if everything checks out with all her tests, you can go home. Okay, great. So, you know, we had like a bed. She was in her little crib and it was waking her up every 3 hours to feed. And it was just her and I having that moment. And it was great. But at the same time, it was just like looking at her. Like,
it's
made
also
this.
scary.
It was.
It's like all the feelings.
It was
right.
Just, again, there's
and
no
then
words.
You know that like this is yours now. You're taking it home.
Yes.
You're taking her home.
Regardless.
And this is on you.
Yes.
You guys have it's yours.
Exactly. You know, and again, I didn't sleep a wink. I think all new moms can feel that way when you have a new baby. You're just like, you're running on adrenaline. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're not tired. You're just like, okay, are you okay? Like, you just ate. How about now? Like, you're not choking, you know? It was just constantly checking up on her. It was like 11 p.m. in the evening. They said, hey, do you want us to show you how to give her a bath? I was like, you know what? Sure. Absolutely. Why not? So that's one
Also, do you guys want to come home with me?
Yeah, exactly.
Show me how to give her a bath there.
She was just, you know, so cute and quiet, getting a bath. And I'm like, all right, cool. She's had her first bath. And the next day, they said, we need to do a bunch of tests. So it was a lot of waiting. I didn't realize all the tests that needed to be done. before they can sign him off to go home. One of them was a hearing test, just to see if everything was great. She passed that, and then now it was waiting for doctors to sign off. It would seem like hours. It wasn't hours. It was, maybe an hour and a half, and Aaron was on his way to the hospital. And at that point, it's like, we don't know if we got sign off. Are we going home today? It's 3 days before Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
And at that time,
we have nothing at home. What a ball of feelings.
Well, at that time, every time Aaron went home, I would give him a list of, okay, can you get this at Walmart? This, get unscented laundry detergent for this and that. He was ordering things off Amazon. He was just like pretty much holding the fort down while coming back to the hospital every day.
Bless his heart. He was really trying to do a good job.
Absolutely.
He was doing a good job. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then finally they, after making sure she was safe in her carrier, we got the sign off, we got the papers. You can take her home. We're like, okay, cool. And we still remember that day vividly because for December 22nd, it was warm. It was nice. There was no snow. We literally walked the rooftop parking lot. I was just in a sweater. It was so nice, holding this precious cargo.
That must have felt so good.
Oh God, it was like
scary, but really good.
Yeah, you don't realize you've been cooped up in a hospital for 4 days until you're like, oh, this is what fresh air smells like.
Yes, yes.
So it's just like, again,
and you didn't have time to even prepare for that.
No,
so
exactly.
Wow.
So it was surreal. Putting her, again, never ever played with a car seat before. No idea how to put any of that in. Neighbors actually lent that to us because we didn't have one. And
did everyone come together for you?
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All of your family, they must have been in crazy shock.
Oh my goodness. I got to tell you about this. It was actually a day before Ava went home, and I was in that private room, and I had messaged my dad, and I said, Dad, can you call me when you're done work?
Okay.
Everything's fine. I just need to tell you something. He's like, okay. So he called me that afternoon. We had a FaceTime, and he's like, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm at the hospital. Why? Is everything okay? And I just remember flipping the screen, the camera, over to Ava, sleeping in her bassinet. And he said, Joe, whose baby is that? Wait, why does she look like you? And I said, Dad, you're not going to believe this, but I had a baby. And he said, no, you didn't. You helped me move.
Like a few days ago. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he's like, you were carrying things. I said, yep. He's like, I'm a grandpa? I was like, yep.
Oh, what a shock for them too.
Oh God. Yep.
None of them also had time to
Oh gosh, no one had time to process anything at all. So I said, Dad, sorry, but like, I just needed to tell you, I haven't told the rest of the family yet.
You have a lot of calls to make and a baby to take care of.
Exactly. And he's like, are you okay? I said, I'm fine. It's okay. Aaron and I are managing. We'll give you more information as time goes on. We just really want to go home right now. That's what we're waiting for. It's almost Christmas. We just want her to be home for Christmas. And he said, okay. And that was the last conversation we had. And so again, that was crazy. But then coming home was a whole other story. Yeah. We didn't realize that all of the neighbors would be just popping in to say hello, drop off Christmas cards, this and that. And Aaron being at the door saying, we have something to show you.
Yes.
And him leading them into the living room, and there is a baby in a bassinet, in a baby swing.
Shocking.
Sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And no one was like, you were not pregnant. Again, that's what everyone's reaction
This isn't yours.
You were not pregnant. But she looks like you. And I said, yeah, it happened.
What a miracle. Yeah.
So it was, again, it was a blur. The rest of December was a blur, being Christmas and everything. Trying to figure out who to who to tell. My family was next, and that was just telling them, by the way, because we have family in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And it was in a group Facebook Messenger text just to say, hey guys, this is your new niece, granddaughter, second cousin. Gave them the full name. Her middle name is after my sister. My sister didn't even know.
That's what it was.
My sister didn't even know that we were planning on giving her her first name.
So that must have meant so much to her.
It did. And just telling the whole family. And again, shock for the whole family. And
did you guys settle in okay then? I mean, it must have taken a while, and you're ordering stuff and you're getting everything together. And
oh gosh, our house, we like to joke that our house looked like an Amazon warehouse. Because there was just boxes upon boxes and gifts beyond gifts. Like I had gift baskets from like work functions as well for Christmas that I had won, on top of like baby gear. It was like, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, it was nuts. It was just, again, it was a blur because you're trying to get things unboxed and prepped and ready for her.
Yeah.
You know, and you have people visiting and it's just like, what do you need?
That must have felt really overwhelming for you too. Like, it's like you want visitors and you want people to see her, but then you're also trying to protect her.
Yes.
And all this happened fast. You got to protect your time and energy, and
yes,
right?
It did feel overwhelming, but at the same time, it was so very much welcomed because, like, again, it was so unexpected.
Exciting. Yeah.
So it was just like any help, any assistance, you know, that we could get, we were more than happy.
Yes, please.
And again, with how fast things progressed, like we had a nurse come visit our house literally the day after she came home. She was already getting blood drawn, and everything was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Apparently it was perfect timing when she came because it was their least busiest time of the year.
Wow.
So they were able to get all of that done.
Thank goodness. Shout out to all of these people who pulled it together for you guys.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Like, you know, in the
100%.
hospital, like there can be all of these things that we get frustrated about, and all of these waits and all of that. But really, how grateful we should be that they just pulled it together for you, and you had a baby that day, and everyone just came and took care of you.
Exactly. And Erin and I are so thankful. So however many multiple times a year they have a home lottery happening, we buy tickets for the hospital every time as a thank you. We don't care what department it's supporting.
Yeah.
Just specifically the hospital, to show our thanks.
Totally.
For, you know, what we had gone through.
Yeah.
With Ava.
And do you have, just to finish off, do you have any advice or any words of love for people, you know, women going through this crazy hard time and they can't seem to have a baby, and they don't know if they have hope, you know what I mean? You know, maybe just reach out to people or try to, what would you say?
I know it sounds super cliche, and everyone always says, you know, don't give up. When you stop trying, that's when it happens.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that so many times, you know, from friends and acquaintances. It's like, just keep trying. It will happen when it happens. And knowing that that's happened to me, it's like, no, I'm not going to say that to someone.
Yeah.
I will tell them, this is your journey. Your journey, whether it's written or unwritten, you don't know which path you're going to take. Take it day by day.
Yeah.
Like you said, reach out for help to those who are willing to listen. And it doesn't have to be within your inner circle. Sometimes
and don't feel alone, because so many women are like feeling all of this guilt or shame or whatever it is. And my body can't have a baby, and all this stress, and it's a lot.
It's a lot to take in. Whether it's you, whether it's not you, you know what? What happens will happen. If it's written in, you know, in your book, it will happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to ever say don't give up, because again, it might not happen for you. However, just
try to accept where you are.
Where you are at that point in your life, right? Because I had accepted that it wasn't going to happen for us. And we had actually come to an understanding and a calmness about it as husband and wife, that maybe this is just something God didn't want to bestow upon us, was to have children. And that's fine, because we have godchildren. We have friends, kids who we love to spoil and, you know, take care of. So it was
and there's something bigger sometimes than than our human nature can see, you know, and yeah, I think that's really good. Well, Jo, thank you so much for sharing this story with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's the best, the best miracle. And I know that, you know, all of the viewers will get something from this. And I really appreciate you being vulnerable about your story.
I hope so. And, you know, a big part of me as well, understand that a lot of people are going to be like, how did you not know you were pregnant and this? And I tell people, you know, that show, I didn't know I was pregnant. I made fun of those women. Okay. But after what I went through, and my doctor had actually said, I am the 5th patient she's had that did not know they were pregnant. The last one
happen.
Before me didn't know she was pregnant until she was giving birth in her living room.
And you do see those stories.
And it happens.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
So, you know, I will never, ever.
Here when I'm pregnant, I'm just like massive and huge walking around, and Jo's just.
Wow, my skin looks great. My hair looks great. Like, man, I must
helping
be doing
people
something
move.
Great. Exactly. You know, just being healthy. But I know I'll get a lot of flack with that, I'm sure.
Oh, who cares? We have beautiful Ava, and it doesn't matter.
She's here. We don't know where the future holds. We're taking things day by day. You know, we've taken tests for her, and doctors have told us there are just some things psychologically, mentally, that you cannot prepare for right now until she's of school age.
Okay.
And when that time comes, there are resources, there is help.
Yeah.
If that's needed. But for now, they said just enjoy where she's at in her life. Yeah. She's happy, she's healthy, and she's thriving.
And that's perfect.
Accept it.
And that's what we want.
Exactly. And we'll deal with it when the time comes, if there's anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we take it a day at a time, as you said, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, Jo.
You're very
welcome.
welcome.
Love this story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is definitely a story that Erin and I love to tell people. A part of me don't really like to tell people, again, just because of my circumstance and not knowing, but it's an emotional one for us. And
it's also good for you to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we can retell it numerous times, and it's always going to be the same.
Yeah. So. It's your special story.
Yes.
I wonder what your daughter's going to think about that someday.
Aaron did say he wants to write a book. So we're hoping that this is something she can also see in the future. Yeah. So she can have a better understanding and not just have it written on paper. Yeah. Of, you know, how we actually felt the day she came.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Jo.
You're welcome.